Even though the truth has been obscured, the missing puzzle pieces can be found. In a May 1923 issue of Popular Science, aviation pioneer Orville Wright gives an eyewitness account of early weather manipulation experiments using methods strikingly similar to modern cloud seeding. The accepted geoengineering narrative maintains that 100 years ago, no one had even thought of such a thing, much less attempted it. Yet, electric sand technology was surprisingly advanced. Notably, they weren't just using airplanes, balloons were also part of their toolkit. This raises some big questions. Could these meteorological practices date back further, possibly even before the birth of the airplane? The process of using electrically charged powdered sand to encourage raindrop formation is essentially cloud seeding in an early form. Could this also be an example of military technology making its way into the public sphere long after the government had already been using it? The recent demonstration of two scientists who claim to be able to make at will rain by precipitating clouds or sunshine by dispelling fog. Their efforts, unlike those of other experimenters, have been based on chemistry rather than meteorology. Think of it. Rain when you want it, sunshine when you want it, man in control of the heavens, to turn them on or shut them off as he wishes. It seems incredible, but it will be a scientific reality of tomorrow. Its application to everyday life is now considered by eminent meteorologists only a matter of time. So many quacks have advanced theories and apparatus for making rain in the past century that scientists and the public have come to look askance at any attempts at rainmaking. But never before has a process been put forward with such reliable scientific backing. Orville Wright, famous as a pioneer in aviation, was an eyewitness. While at work in my office one day, my attention was attracted by the peculiarity of the sound of an airplane overhead. On looking out of the window, I saw a plane just entering a dense white cumulus cloud. I noticed it was leaving a long trail of what appeared to be smoke in its course, but on further observation, I discovered the trail was dust being discharged from beneath the airplane. The operation is comparatively simple. Briefly, pulverized powdered sand is carried above the clouds by airplane. The sand is electrically charged as it issues from nozzles and is sprayed on the cloud. The sand causes particles of moisture to coalesce or combine until the tiny drops form one big drop heavy enough to fall. Drops of moisture in the clouds are kept from coalescing either by being charged electrically and therefore repelling each other, or by being covered with a film of condensed air that acts like a gelatin capsule. Spraying with positively charged sand will cause negatively charged drops to combine and also will remove the film of air around the drop to some extent. The large drops fall and carry down with them many of the finer drops. The new process sprays electrically charged sand from above, and the thicker the cloud, the more rain will be produced with the same amount of sand. Much better results are expected with sand charged to 30,000 volts and with a more efficient nozzle. Experiments so far have been made in cooperation with the Army Air Service. Since then, a great many test flights have been made. They produce negative charges in the atmosphere by means of electric sparks issuing from a multitude of wire antennae trailing from the plane. The ensuing process of dissipating the cloud so formed is by spraying the negatively charged droplets with positively charged sand, thus causing the two to combine and form huge drops. If the process can be carried out on a large scale and cheaply, its great future will be economic. The discovery may eventually change geography and history, remake the maps of the world, and alter the future of the human race. It may take its place as one of the greatest scientific discoveries in the history of the world, with effects as far-reaching even as the telephone, radio, the steam engine, and the automobile. Think what man control of the weather will mean. Visualize hundreds of airplanes flying high over parched sections of the country. The rain clouds that ordinarily would pass by carrying their moisture with them are attacked. Down comes the rain. Such a discovery has a psychological value, an application to everyday life. How often have you experienced a feeling of depression on a gloomy, foggy day? The day is dark, the air is close, and you feel blue. Suddenly, there is a whir overhead. The fog is collected into clouds, then the electric sand is sprayed on them, and before long it rains. The sun then comes out and you breathe a washed and cleansed air. The narrative we've been given claims that cloud seeding experiments didn't begin until 1947, more than 20 years later. This information clearly contradicts that claim, and when paired with video evidence from the same period showing what these planes were capable of, it becomes proof beyond any reasonable doubt that the web of lines we see in skies worldwide is the evolution of the processes described in this article. If these practices really began so early, why don't we see this narrative in the history books? Why was this technology kept quiet, and who benefits from keeping it hidden? The people profiting from this have a reason to lie and censor the truth. This is precisely why we've historically placed such trust in the printed word, because once it's in print, it can't be altered. Mainstream narratives may shift over time, but what's printed remains fixed. That's why